Good evening, everyone. How are you? The light, please.
This one?
No, that light. There's the light right there, Chris. Right there.
This one?
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Be sure to sign in and let me know where you're signaling from. And hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already. Anyway, had a little trouble getting set up and getting the lighting right. So I so it never ends. So can you like not do that while I'm trying to record? Thank you.
I was just passing your
Okay.
commercials.
So anyway, if you would turn your sound off, that would be helpful.
So,
Thank you.
I'm Momo in Atlanta. Vanessa in
Hello, hi Vanessa.
New Homes in California.
Hi Lou. I can see it right here
Okay.
on my screen. How's it going? How you guys doing? Hey, how you doing? How's the weather there? It looks like it's going to storm here. My goodness. I hope not. You know, there's nothing more nerve wracking than a storm when you're in an RV. So, especially in Oklahoma, where the wind goes whistling over the plains. So, anyhow, it can get real exciting here. Yeah, it's hot here too, Vanessa. It's been in the 90s. And of course, if you follow me on my other channel, then you know we've been doing what we can to keep our chickens alive. It's been so hot. We've been freezing gallon bottles of water and putting it down for them to stand on or nestle up against to keep their temperature um, at a moderate level, or they'll die from heat stroke. So, anyway, just like people, you know what I mean? Your hair is gray. It just started shedding in the last couple of days. Now, see, you must have knew I was going to be talking about this. So I'm going to be talking about that this evening. Um, and I want to encourage you guys to look at it's in the playlist. If you click on playlist, you'll see it in there. You put it in the search bar. Um, Menopause and the Natural Woman. Okay. And it'll help you. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. So I hope everybody's doing okay. I'm gonna try to help you. I am. I'm gonna try to help you. But I want you to look at that video series that I did. I think it's 3 or 4 videos that I did. I covered different things, how menopause affects our hair, it affects our sex life, it affects our health, all kinds of stuff. So anyway, it's in the playlist. If you go to the main page on this channel, on the Silver Crown channel, go to the main page and click on playlist. And in the playlist, you'll see where it says Menopause and the Natural Woman. You may have to put it in the search bar on the playlist because I did it. It was either last year or year before last, so you may not immediately see it, but it is there. Okay, all right. Let's see. I don't want to miss anybody. You guys, make sure you put a thumbs up on here and please subscribe to the channel if you have not. I have a lot of people that follow the channel, but they're not subscribed to the channel, which is kind of crazy. I'm thinking, why? Anyway, so I don't want to keep you forever, but I was just thinking about these 3 things. What causes? I think what made me think about it was my hair was breaking, and I was like, what's going on? What's going on? Now there's a lot of things that can cause your hair to break. Um, it can be a lot of things. So let me just I've got a list here of stuff. So if something clicks in your brain, this might be what's causing it for you if you're having this problem. Okay. All right. So the first thing that I put here, and I'm Lord knows I'm guilty it is. I'm gonna stop making resolutions because I don't keep them. But anyway, the first thing I put on here that can cause breakage in your hair, believe it or not, is dehydration. Dehydration. And a lot of people think that when it comes to hydrating your hair, it's just a matter of keeping it moisturized, but that's not all it's to it. You have to be moisturized, right? You have to have enough hydration in you where everything is functioning like it should be, or it helps things to function like they should, right? So if you're dehydrated, your hair will probably break. Um, and how you can tell if you're dehydrated, some of the signs is, you're constantly licking your lips because your lips are dry and they're cracked, or you feel thirsty all the time. Now that can also be, a diabetic symptom too. And I'm not a doctor, okay? So let me put my disclaimer out there. I'm just telling you the stuff that I've read and researched on my own. And so this is how I kind of govern my life, okay? You do what's good for you, but I'm just telling you, this is the stuff that I'm talking about tonight is things that I've discovered from my own hair journey and all that. So one of the things is dehydration. Your lips will get dry. You're thirsty all the time. You have a headache. If you are dehydrated, you will get a headache, and if your skin is ashy, dry, and flaky. Now, again, that can be some other skin disorder, but it can also be dehydration. Okay. Hi, Sheila from Chi Town. Good to see you. So, dehydration, okay, is I think the number one thing. So when you moisturize your hair, it can't just be you're spritzing it or you're using a moisturizing conditioner or shampoo. That ain't gonna get it. You're gonna have to drink water. You've got to drink water. Okay. Now, other liquids, tea and all that. Okay, that's fine. But tea can dehydrate you too, depending on what kind of tea you're drinking, because some teas work as a diuretic. They'll cause you to lose water. So that's another subject about natural remedies and all that. But anyway, so what you drink is important. A good quality water is good because um, it's not going to strip you of your nutrients and all that, and it's not putting stuff in you that you don't need in you. Okay, so there's no substitute for pure water. Tea is good. You know, some doctors would argue that juice is not good because of its high sugar content, but liquids or foods that are high in water are good for you, but there's nothing better for you than just water. It's good for your bowels, it's good for your hair, it's good for your skin. Okay, so dehydration could be one of the main reasons why your hair is breaking. Um, Another thing is lack of proper nutrients. Now, having said that, I'm going to show you what I have right now. Now, this is just some of the supplements that I take. And also, I wanted to say, has anybody noticed the rising price of things going on around the country and some shortages on shelves? Now, that's not to say that they're completely empty of things, but I told you guys several months back, I said there's going to be a shortage on some things. So, when you're if you're storing extra water or extra food or whatever, don't forget the stuff that you need for your hair. Don't forget. And the thing is, some of those stores or whatever that you may have gone to in the past may have gone out of business because they were shut down for so long they couldn't survive it. And so while you can get it, if you have to get it from a big box store, unfortunately, then get what you can and try to store up what you can in the event that there becomes a drastic shortage on supplements that you may use and you find that you can't find it anywhere. Or if you do find it, it's at a ridiculous price that you don't or don't want to spend the money for. So get it while you can get it, get as much of it while you can get it, and put it away for when there is a shortage. And then in the meantime, just keep using what you have. So one of the things that I use is biotin. Now this is Spring Valley brand. This is not what I always use. Okay, I use whatever I can find. This is 10,000 micrograms, and I take one of these a day. Okay, this is what I take, and um, I'm not a paid person for anything I'm telling you about today. This is not the only brand I've used. I've used other brands too. Whatever my money can buy me at the time is what I will get, and I'll try to get something that doesn't have a bunch of other weird stuff in it. This is not the best. Um, it's not the best. It's not the best quality. I've had better than this. So be careful when you're buying supplements and stuff because uh, you want something that's mostly that supplement. This is not the best. That's all I'm going to say in my opinion. Okay. Okay. And then I take this, um, and this is MSM. Don't ask me to say the technical word because I can't. And this is 1,000 milligrams. It seems to me that I used to take more than that, but maybe that's all I could find at the time. Most people would swear by the powder. Um, I haven't had the powder, but I do know that it's bitter. And so some things work better for me if it's in a capsule form where I don't, gag over the taste or whatever. Because if it's like really gross and nasty, you're probably not going to stick with it. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, get what you can get while it's available. You heard it here first, folks. Okay. Now, I let me apologize if it looks grainy because I've got my screen turned all the way up, but it still seems to be, I don't know. It looks bright, but it looks grainy for some reason. I don't know why that is. Maybe that's just on my end. Um, Another thing that can cause breakage is illness. Okay, some kind of an illness. You can be taking a medication um, that causes you to be dehydrated, or it messes with your hormones, and it can cause hair breakage. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Depending on what it is you may be using, your doctor may have you on. It could be a side effect of a medication that you're taking. um, Improper detangling method will cause breakage, definitely. If you're using the wrong tools, that can cause breakage, which is also part of improper detangling. Okay? I hope y'all are taking notes. You can always go back and look at this again. Um, when I was younger, my hair was very thick, halfway down my back, and a pain in the derriere to comb. It was a nightmare. Okay. And I could swear to you, my oldest sister would comb my hair just for the spite of it. But anyway, especially if I would drop a dime about some boy she was dating and she would be dating somebody else, and I would act like I had a slip of the tongue or something, and then she'd comb my hair. So I stopped doing that. But anyway, um, my hair was long, it was thick, and it was down my back. Now it's just, you know, armpit length, but yeah, really, right? It doesn't look like it is, but it is. It's just shrunken. And my sister did not know how to comb my hair. Now, who knew? I didn't know back then that there was a certain way that afro textured hair needed to be combed. I did not know that. Apparently, she didn't know, and if she did know it, she didn't care because she was mad at me. So you do not want to start combing your hair from the root. Okay, I combed my hair like that almost my whole life, especially when I had a perm. Right, easy peasy when you have a perm, but or a relaxer, I would say, not a perm. Excuse me, but when your hair is afro textured, you need to start combing from the bottom. You comb from the bottom and you work your way up. That way, you don't start here, get down here, hit a tangle, and now you can't get that out, and you got to rip your hair apart just to get the tangle out, or you have to cut it out. So, improper detangling will cause breakage in your hair. Okay? Using the wrong tools will cause breakage in your hair. What do I mean by tools? Well, there's all kinds of brushes and combs and stuff on the market, and it's not necessarily good for your hair. For example, my husband has type A hair. The kind of comb that I use, which is a wide tooth comb most of the time, is like a joke on his hair. His hair is bone straight, and a wide tooth comb ain't gonna do a thing for him. He uses different hair tools. Strangely enough, stuff that I bought for myself at the very beginning of my hair journey, which didn't do me a bit of good, works fine for him. So his hair texture is type A. Mine's ain't, as you can see. That is not type A hair. So make sure you're using the right hair tools for your hair texture. Some people brush their hair. I rarely use a brush on my hair, and that includes a Denman brush. I rarely use a brush. Now, I do sometimes use a method that I call a pyramid method. The pyramid method is when I start with a wide tooth comb and I start detangling with that. And then, I'll put my hair in sections. I'll start with a wide tooth comb. And then I'll move to another comb where the teeth aren't as wide as the first one that I used. And then I'll go from the root and work my way down. And then I will go to like a rat tail comb and do that. Now, why do I do that? I do that to get the shed hair out, right? Um, the shed hair, my hair is not going to come out with a wide tooth comb. When your hair sheds, it sheds from the root. It doesn't shed from the end, okay? If your hair is coming out from the end or from the middle, that's breakage. That's not shedding. And so shedding is when it lets go at the root and makes room for a brand new hair to come in. That's natural shedding. Okay. Um, so I do that to get the shed hair out and to keep my hair from getting unnecessarily tangled, which will cause a lot of breakage. Okay. Everybody, you tracking with me so far? Am I moving too fast? You tell me. Tell me yes or tell me no in the comment section so I'll know if I'm going on in a good pace or if I need to slow down a bit. So just let me know. Yes or no. Yes, you're going too fast. Or no, you're doing just fine. Um, so hair tools. And then, as I mentioned before, menopause will cause your hair to change. Okay. It could have been one way when you were a teenager and it's a different way now. And especially, thank you, Lou, especially if you have gray hair, which is a completely different subject. But I will say that gray hair is a different texture than when your hair was not gray. Okay. It's sometimes gray hair can be coarser. It's like it has a mind of its own. It doesn't want to lay down. It doesn't want to behave. It's gray. So it can be, and it's more brittle than your hair before it turned gray. So that can cause breakage as well. I had somebody tell me, they say, oh, just use some henna on your hair and it'll cover up the gray. And I said, I see you missed the title of the channel. Anyway, I have no desire to cover my gray. Anyway, all right. So those are just some of the things that can cause breakage. Make sure you give a thumbs up on the channel, you guys, and subscribe if you haven't already, and recommend this video to your friends. Share it. Okay. Um, Now that's breakage. Let's talk about shedding a little bit. Your hair will naturally shed over a period of time. Nothing lasts forever. Okay. Your hair will shed just like you shed skin cells, right? Um, and I had the information somewhere as about how often our hair sheds, and now I can't find it. So anyway, you'll have to look that up. But I do know that every so often your hair will naturally shed. It's not breakage; it is natural shedding. Um, I find that my hair will shed a lot in, uh, like in the summer. I don't know why. It could be the heat. I don't know what it is, but it will shed a lot in the summer, and then toward the winter it starts, thickening up or growing back in or whatever. Now I don't know, that could be I don't know, maybe I was supposed to be a grizzly bear or something, I don't know, but anyway, I just know that's how it seems to work with me. um, but shedding is a natural process. It's not because of breakage. Now I will say this: there are medications and illnesses that can happen to you that can cause your hair to shed prematurely. Um, if a person is under cancer therapy and they're taking chemo treatments and stuff like that, it can cause your hair to shed. It won't just break, it'll shed, it'll come out from the root. And depending on how harsh the treatment is, your hair would grow back, and sometimes it would not grow back if the hair follicles were badly damaged. Then the hair will not come back. So certain illnesses and stuff can cause your hair to shed prematurely as well. Okay. Any questions? Global CT Zen says gray hair roots can be very itchy too. Oh, thank you. She said it suits me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. How often should we trim our hair? Hmm. I just trimmed mine, believe it or not. I just trimmed mine last week. And I'll tell you, for me, now this is just me. Some people will trim their hair because they don't want it to get very long. They don't want a whole lot to deal with. They really literally just want to wash and go. They don't want to have to twist it or do a whole bunch of stuff to it. And so they'll trim it like a lot, which to me is a cut. I'm talking about a trim. When I trim my hair is when I start seeing a lot of breakage. Now, the breakage could be my fault. It could be that I've been very, very busy. I hadn't been keeping up with my fluid intake, or 2 or 3 days went by, or a week went by, and I hadn't uh, been keeping up with my supplements or something like that. Any drastic change like that in your body will throw off your hormones. And it doesn't matter whether you're male or female, it'll throw off your hormones and your hair will start breaking. So at that point, if I messed up, or if it's just, it naturally needs to be trimmed, I'll go ahead and trim it. So what I did was I sectioned my hair off. Now I know, now listen, there could be a trichologist on here who says that's not how you do it. I'm just gonna tell you what I did, okay? Don't stone me. This is what I did because I ain't feel like fooling with it. I don't know of a salon. I don't. First of all, I don't do salons, but I don't know of one in my city that specializes in Afro textured hair. So I'm not sitting in nobody's chair anyway. Not here, but anyway. So um, what I did was after I washed it, gave myself a protein treatment and deep conditioned it, gave it a good rinse and all that, all the stuff that we do. I sectioned it off and I twisted it. Now let me tell you, this is what I did. I'm not saying that you should do this. But after I twisted it, when I got to the end and it wouldn't twist, it just felt raggedy and dry and brittle. I just took the scissors and snip right above where that was happening. That's what I did. Now I realized that I didn't blow it out. I didn't do all that and get it as straight as possible to trim it. I understand that, but that's what I did. It was quick for me. The shedding is where, my gosh, if I had to go on a scale from 1 to 10, when it was like 8, I'd say now it's like 2 or maybe 3. But it's not like it was. In order for me to not have any breakage or premature shedding or whatever coming off on my comb, I would have to give my hair a cut. And I don't want to cut my hair. I just wanted to trim it. So that's just me. Like I said, thank you for the thumbs up, by the way. Okay. And so, how often should you trim it? As often as you need to. Now, let me say something about that. If you're trimming your hair every month, you're not going to see growth. Your hair is only going to grow about a quarter of an inch to maybe a half an inch every month. Okay? So if you're cutting that off every month, you're not going to see growth. You're just not going to see it. Your hair will be healthy, but you won't see growth. Okay? It'll just maintain the same length. So that's how often I trim my hair is when if I twist it, or if I'm seeing a lot of breakage and I know I've got split ends and stuff and you want to get that off. Now, why is it important to get off split ends? Because if you don't, trust me, you are not holding on to your length. You just think you are. Your ends are going to get raggedy. And when I say raggedy, I mean they're going to get dry, they're going to get brittle. And remember that the ends of your hair is the oldest part of your hair. It's been there the longest, right? So it's been subject to all kinds of stuff, the detangling, the whole 9 yards. And so it's fragile. It's the oldest part of your hair. Of any strand, the end is the oldest part. So, and sometimes it's just time for it to go. It's old, it gotta go. So and it'll split, right? So if it splits, if you get a hair or a clump of hair that's got all these broken ends and it splits, it's going to start traveling because it's weak now. It's going to start traveling up that hair shaft and it'll break here or it'll break there or it'll break somewhere in the middle of that strand or that clump of hair. And now you've got your hair is weak. So I'm sorry, your hair is weak and it's going to snap and break eventually. Okay. Um, so that's how often you should trim it. If you get broken hair, or if you're seeing a lot of breakage in your comb, you probably need a trim. It can't hurt. Okay. Now, I mean, it sucks, right? Because
Yep.
everybody wants to
Okay.
keep their length if you're not trying to have short hair. But you'll need to trim it if you want your hair to remain healthy or to be healthy. Okay. Um, what scissors? Good question. I have no idea. Get scissors that are made specifically for hair. Now, here's the thing. When I've gone to the barber shop with my husband from time to time, before he stopped going to the barber shop because his hair is down to his rear end now, um, I noticed that they use different types of scissors for different things. Like they've got some scissors that are for thinning out the hair. It looks like like one side has a flat blade and the other side has teeth on it, and it's like for thinning the hair. I don't know. So as far as just trimming the hair, I just get straight scissors that are for hair. I mean, barber shears. is what I get. So now somebody else on here may know a good brand. I asked over a year ago, 2 years ago, what's a good brand of shears for hair? I haven't gotten an answer yet. So if any of you guys know, make sure you put it in the comment section so the rest of us will know what type of scissors to get for the hair, because I couldn't tell you that. Okay. And so, does anybody have any questions about what I've said so far? So, we talked about shedding, and we talked about breakage, we talked about supplements. Anybody have any questions? Hi, Gail. How you doing? I'm glad you guys like hanging out with me. So, anyway, with my hair lately, what have I been doing with my hair lately? Well, I've been really busy. My husband had injured himself, and I had been trying to keep up with things around the house and on our little homestead with our chickens and um, all kinds of stuff like that, and trying to keep up with some of the things that he usually would do, but he couldn't do because he was right handed and he messed up his right hand. And then he messed up his left hand because he was compensating for his right hand. And at one point, both hands were bandaged. So that was fun. But anyway, so I hadn't been doing a whole lot except, trying to keep my hair clean, trying to drink water, but not being real successful, realizing that I was starting to have some breakage because I was very busy, too busy to take care of myself and my hair like I needed to. So I was starting to get all this breakage and stuff. And so I went ahead and trimmed it. But I'm trying to recover. I'm trying to recover. So anyway, so that's what I wanted to share with you guys tonight about, breakage and shedding and trimming and all that. If you have questions, I'm going to put my email address right here in the chat box. It's in the description box as well. You can reach me there. I answer all of my emails, no matter who it's from. I will answer you. If you don't get an answer, check your spam because I answer every email I get, every single one I answer, and I answer like pretty much that day, or you know, within 24 hours, I will answer you. If you have questions, make sure you write me at that address, enoughgrace12 at AOL.com. That's where you can reach me. And also, if you look in the description box, I'm on MeWe. It's not hair, it's not homestead. I'm on MeWe. You'll see when you get over there. And my address is also in the description box for MeWe. If you have that platform, I am not on Facebook. I am not on Instagram. I am not on LinkedIn. I am not on, what's the other one? Twitter. I got off of all of those on the same day. So, uh, yeah. So anyway, I don't use those platforms anymore, and I will not be using them ever again. And so you can find me on alternative platforms, and MeWe is one of them. I also am on Skype. If you are interested in meeting with me on Skype with a face to face, that's fine as well. You will need to write me at my email address, and and I can give you my Skype information, and you can give me yours, and we can hook up a time where we can talk. Okay, I do have Zoom, but I don't have Zoom as a group thing. I can only do one on one on Zoom. With Skype, I can do a group thing. So I'll leave that up to you. If you want to talk to me face to face like that in a private setting, that's fine. And there you go. So thank you guys for hanging out this evening. I guess you don't have any questions because I don't see any in the chat box. And as oh, you know what, Vanessa? Uh, I don't know what you're doing with your hair. You're saying at your hairline it stays dry, but gray hair, it's just the texture is different. You may need to just kind of get used to that. If it's not breaking off, or it's in your sink every time you go to comb your hair or whatever, it's probably just the texture of your hair. And yeah, it can feel kind of weird sometimes. When I let my hair grow out, I let the color. I kept my hair natural black from the age of like 15. I started dyeing my hair. Anyway, I don't know why, but I did until I was about 20. Well, no, well, 25, and then I went in the military, and I didn't have time to dye my hair. So hi, Star, and uh, and then when I went natural about 5 years ago, I had to get used to the texture of my hair because I was letting the color grow out and it was turning gray and it felt different. But to keep in mind that I had been relaxing my hair since I was like 15. So I didn't even know what my natural hair texture was like. Um, Before that, my mom hot pressed my hair. She used a hot comb. So I didn't know what my natural texture was like as far as to care for it. Because, she always combed it out, or my sister combed it out, and then she put a hot comb on it, and there you go. So my hair was always straight until it hit, unless it had just been washed, and she was sectioning it off. So, anyhow, let's see. Wisteria says, can you silk press gray hair? I imagine that you can. I mean, I've seen people do that. I don't put heat on my hair at all. So I've never done that. I haven't put heat on my hair in years. So I guess you can. Um, the reason that I don't is because there is a risk of heat damage, and that you can't reverse that. You just have to cut it off. And so I don't want to take that risk. Star says, go to Sally Beauty Supply, Ulta, or a beauty supply store for hair scissors. They have a wide variety and can explain the differences. Now, why I didn't think of that, I have no earthly idea, but thank you very much. Thank you. Sally's Beauty Supply. I can't even remember last time I was in Sally's Beauty Supply because I order everything from like Amazon. So, oh my gosh, I hate shopping. I am not one of those women that love to shop. I hate shopping. I hate it. I hate it. So I'm just as content as I can be ordering something online and letting it come to me because I hate going in stores. Anyway, all right, you guys. Hi, JC. I will see you guys later. Thanks for hanging out. Make sure you click the subscribe button if you haven't. Please share the channel with others. And hi, Angela. And I'll see you guys the next time I come on. And also, make sure you look in the chat box here. You'll see my address. I'll put it here again. It's also in the description box. Oh boy. Now let me see. Uh, okay, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. There it is. You should see it. Verindia, how are you? It's been a while. And also, you guys, listen. I have another channel with my husband. For those of you that don't know, that's called the Christopats because his name is Chris and I'm Pat. So there you go. The Christopats Adventure. It used to be Adventure and Travel Channel, but I explained that in my last video over there. So I changed the name to the Christopats Adventure and Homestead Channel because a lot of what we talk about on there is dealing with your supplies and um, natural remedies and things, taking care of livestock, your animals, and stuff like that. So I changed that because we're not traveling as much as we used to. And I don't want anybody to think, this channel is supposed to be about RVs. Well, it's not anymore. I mean, every now and then we may do something in here that I may film, but for the most part, that's not what the channel is about. It's kind of taken a transition. Not enough. We didn't plan that. That's just what has happened, and so we're just trying to go with the flow and make it as rewarding, for anyone who wants to watch it. So please go over to that channel. That link is in the description box as well. Okay. So thank you guys for hanging out this evening. I'm glad you came. Some of you guys I hadn't seen you in a while, so it was good to see you. And thank you, Star, for giving us that information because I have no idea why I didn't think of that. But there you go, you guys. Go to a beauty store and get your scissors. All right, you guys. I'll see you the next time I come on. Keep it natural.